So my grandfather, and that's where it all started, was a Brooklyn guy. My people came over from County Cavan in the late 1860s after the Civil War, and they were laborers. And my grandfather was in that tradition. And he was drafted into World War I. He was a war hero in the Battle of Meuse-Argonne, one of the most ferocious battles in U.S. history. Came back, became an NYPD. I have his billy club, and it was used. So back then, the police department in New York was a paramilitary organization, mostly Irish, mostly veterans, and there was very little street crime because the criminals, they were dealt with. And I'm using a euphemism here, but cops, they kept the neighborhoods and the streets free of miscreants by force. That's what they did. Let's be honest about it. So my grandfather, very tough guy. And my father lived in a row house with his mom and dad in a Flatbush section of Brooklyn. I remember going there like Archie Bunker's house, and they were traditional Irish Catholics. And my father had to be raised by his father, John O'Reilly, who lived to be 81. And John O'Reilly was a tough guy. He had 3 children, 2 sons. My uncle was a captain in the NY fire department, and a sister. So my father was drafted in World War II. We went to officer training school at Holy Cross, and then got on a ship at San Francisco Bay to invade Japan. I would not be here if Harry Truman had not ordered the atomic bomb. So my father's ship would have been sunk by kamikazes, there's no doubt about it. And thank you, President Truman. So then I was raised in Levittown. So my father came back from the war, he didn't have any money, nobody had any money. The Levitts built this big tract housing on Long Island in potato fields, $8,000, 11-page lane, and that's where I was raised. And my house was very modest. We didn't have a lot of money, even though my father was a naval officer and a college grad. And my mother graduated from Boston U. She was a physical therapist, but she stayed at home. My mother was the worst cook in the Western Hemisphere, as many Irish moms competed for that title. I always wished I was Italian because the Italian kids ate so well. And I had boiled, everything was boiled. Oh. My father was a rough guy, as his father was, okay? But I knew that he loved me, and I knew he was trying his best, and he worked his butt off in a job that was not great. He commuted into the city every day, and he was very responsible. And I was smart enough, even though I was a ridiculous urchin, smart enough to recognize the strength that my father had. And I didn't excuse his disciplinary excesses, but that's my lot in life. Okay, and you probably had it too, if you're a baby boomer. But anyway, my father died young at 62 from melanoma, skin cancer. He was a sun worshiper. And I was a lifeguard and water safety instructor, and I got to go to the dermatologist every 3 months to get stuff clawed off me. But anyway, my father died young, and I was there. I left my job on the West Coast and came to Long Island because I knew my father was dying, and I knew my mother wasn't going to be able to handle it. And I took it over. I took the estate over and did my responsibility as a son. And, I told my father his dying words were, I didn't fulfill my potential. And it was just me and him in the room. And I said, I'm doing it, Dad. And I could see relief in his face. He goes, yeah, and you're an extension of me. And I said, not only an extension, but you gave me the opportunity to do it because of all your hard work. And then he died about 5 minutes after that. So fathers, to me, special place. Father's Day, I hope all you guys that are good dads, I hope you get the recognition you deserve. But even if you don't, okay, you know you're noble. Thank you for watching. To view full episodes of the No Spin News anytime, Sign up to become a BillO'Reilly.com premium or concierge member today.